For a fun, whiskey-based tiki cocktail, you need to try out a Honi Honi. Let me show you how to make it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the whiskey nerd, and like I said, this week I'm making a Honi Honi, which is a tiki cocktail with a little bit of a difference, because normally a tiki cocktail is going to be made with rum, but this one, the Honi Honi, is made with whiskey instead. Like many of the best tiki cocktail recipes we have available to us, it comes from Trader Vic's, and it did originally use bourbon as the whiskey of choice, but for me, for my Honi Honi, I'm going to be using Bushmills Caribbean Rum Cask finished whiskey, which is a very nice, very interesting Irish whiskey. It's a blended whiskey, comes in at 40%, so it's very approachable, but it has a very nice Caribbean rum cask influence on it that gives it a lot of flavor, and I think works really well in kind of tropical style drinks. So normally it would have used bourbon, but I'm using this and I think it works out really well. It also calls for some triple sec, which is an orange liqueur, some lime juice, and some orgeat, which is an almond kind of based sugary syrup. Now the original recipe also calls for some normal sugar syrup, but because I'm using the Bushmills, which is a little bit sweeter, a little bit softer than a bourbon, I've opted to not use that extra 5 ml of sugar syrup, because I think the cocktail is sweet enough as it is. But if you're using a bourbon like in the original recipe, you might want to add in about 5 ml of regular sugar syrup as well. So that's enough talking about the cocktail. It's time to make it. Now this is a shake and drink, so we're going to get our shaker tin and we're going to pop a nice rock of ice into there before we measure out the rest of our ingredients. We're going to start off with our Irish whiskey. Like I said, this is the Bushmills Caribbean Rum Cask finished whiskey, and it is a very nice whiskey. It has these kind of tropical notes. It's very nice, very fruity. I did a review of this earlier in the week. You can check out a link up there or down in the description to see a full review of this whiskey, but suffice it to say, it's a very nice, very enjoyable whiskey. So we're going to go in with 60 ml or 2 ounces of this very nice, very tasty whiskey. Then we're going to go in with our lime juice. We're going to go in with 20 ml, so about 2/3 of an ounce of lime juice, just to get a very nice kind of flavor into the cocktail without making it more like a daiquiri, without making it kind of overly kind of citrusy. Just give it a nice base of flavor. Then we're going to go in with 15 ml or half an ounce of our triple sec. This is a very nice orange liqueur, very sweet without being kind of overpowering, very orangey and citrusy again without being overpowering. So it does kind of round out the drink very nicely, just like that. And then lastly, we're going to go in with orgeat. Orgeat is a kind of a spiced almond syrup. You can make your own or you can buy your own, and that's what this is. I just bought my own store-bought version of it, put it in a nice little glass bottle to make it look a little fancy, and that right there was 10 ml of orgeat. Then we're going to pop the lid on our shaker tin, we're going to bang it down and shake it away for about 30 seconds. Okay, I think that is nicely chilled now, so we're going to pop the top off our cocktail shaker and we're getting ready to strain it out into a glass. For our glass, we'll be using a glass that's been filled with crushed ice to really hammer home the refreshing, sweet nature of the cocktail that will keep you cool on a nice summer's day. We're just going to pour this in, nice and simple, just like that. But for a garnish, we're actually going to go in with 2 things for our garnish. We're going to go in with a little bit of dried pineapple right there and a Luxardo maraschino cherry, which is going to give us a nice bit of extra flavor, nice bit of aroma, and a nice little bit of visual appeal. Just pop that up top there. And that right there is how you make a Honi Honi. Now real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out whiskey cocktails every Friday, whiskey reviews every Wednesday, and if you want to see more like that, you know what you need to do. Now, cheers. That is very nice. It's very refreshing. It's a good mix of flavors, I think, because you get up front, you get that lime juice, you get that kind of citrusy kind of attack up front, you get obviously the little bit of the maracas syrup from that cherry, it's there. But as soon as it hits your palate, you get that orgeat, you get that kind of almondy coating of your mouth, and then there's this nice backbone of whiskey. Just gives it a very nice kind of spirity base beneath those other flavors. Yeah, It's just a very, very drinkable cocktail. Like, it's very easy to enjoy this cocktail. It's not overly boozy, it's not overly citrusy, it's not overly almondy, it's not spicy or anything that kind of unpleasant. It's just a very nice, very easy to drink cocktail. So I think that's all there is to say about the Honi Honi. If you have your own kind of favorite whiskey based tiki cocktail, let me know down in the comments and I might just make it. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep on enjoying this and I will see you next time. Sláinte.